You're listening to Who's Tom and Dick, a weekly podcast with your hosts, Martin Weavers, fighting stage 4 lung cancer, and Patrick Mortimer, living with heart disease. Why not grab yourself a cup of coffee, sit back, and enjoy the chatter as we discuss and share information, talking about tough subjects, and offering help, support, and motivation with a positive mental attitude.
Well, here we are back again, and it's season 2,
and
episode
summer.
1.
It's the summer.
And talking of the summer, Martin, you've got some holidays planned.
I am. But the summer was the one day.
Oh, was
That's
it?
it for us in England. Right. No, you have me holidays are planned.
And where are you going to this time?
We are going down near to, in between Eastbourne and Brighton.
Right.
And guess who we're going in?
Betsy. So she's all ship-shape and Bristol fashion ready to go?
Yes.
Tyres checked and changed?
One to do.
Water in the radiator?
One to do.
Water in the washer?
Yeah, water's everywhere.
Yeah. And,
and she's
petrol
all,
in the tank?
Yeah, and stickers on.
Stickers on?
I bought some stickers for her.
Do you need a sticker to go? You haven't got a GB sticker?
It says Betsy on it.
Yeah.
It makes it go faster.
Right. Where you going?
Betsy, Brighton and Eastbourne.
Brighton and Eastbourne. Ooh,
yeah.
Nice down there.
I have a 99.
I love the lanes.
Yeah.
Brighton lanes.
Well,
They're
Lily
really
wants to go to that place where they filmed Quadrophenia.
Yeah.
Quadrophenia Alley. And there's now apparently a blue plaque there. So.
Right. So you're going to go and have a look at the blue plaque.
Yeah, definitely. I like Eastbourne. I know it's mainly for.
You'd fit in well with Eastbourne.
For older people. But I do like it.
So you meet the criteria now.
Yeah.
They call it God's waiting room.
But we're not actually in there. We're actually a little bit further up the coast. And what we're staying at is a farm. It was a farm yard originally. But he's done all these fields into proper camping fields and a building where you go for your showers and all things like that. But they've got a walkway through to the beach.
Right. So where's that?
It's called Pevensey Beach.
Yeah.
Or Pevensey.
Is that near to Eastbourne or Brighton?
It's nearer to Eastbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Brighton.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we win a talent contest in Eastbourne?
No, you're right and you're wrong. We actually performed at Eastbourne in a talent contest, but we didn't win that one.
Didn't we? Where did we win it then?
Margate we won.
Oh, was it Margate?
Yeah.
I didn't think that's Eastbourne.
No, Eastbourne was one where we came out and we'd done impressions of all these different people. And my mate who was there said, I think the old folks liked you, but they didn't know who you were.
That Eastbourne was where you had that ride on that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that ride on that fairground ride.
In fact, it was about this time of the year because I remember looking out the back of the dressing room and the tennis was on, and the tennis is just
starting. Yeah.
No, the Eastbourne tennis though.
Yeah.
So, which is the week before Wimbledon.
Oh, right.
So,
well, that's not right then, because that was 2 weeks ago.
What?
Wimbledon.
No, it weren't.
Yes, it was. Anyway, so Eastbourne, we didn't win a contest then.
No.
Oh, right,
We that was the one where they didn't recognise us. The old girls really enjoyed it, but we didn't know who you were when I spoke to someone, or my mate spoke to someone afterwards. But it was a lovely place, lovely theatre. I remember,
and I didn't remember, but you reminded me a few weeks ago that we actually worked with Idris Elba.
We did, yeah, Idris Elba.
That's right,
the international.
Movie star.
Yeah, movie star. We worked with him.
We spent some time on a bus with him, didn't we?
We did, yeah. It was through a programme called Insiders, and Lucy Gannon wrote it, and she wrote a programme called Soldier in England, and she took some of the crew who have now become really famous in England, but this one guy who was a prison guard, he was a black guy, and I remember him talking and joking and things like that, you know. And when I looked up the cast, I looked at every single member of the cast on that IMBD, that database.
Yeah.
And he was the only one who was a black guy out of the cast. So me and you have worked with the best, mate, you know, Idris Elba. And my episode, I had Bill Nye in it.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, did you, because you've done a separate, we done one together, didn't we? An episode together.
Yeah.
But did you have anyone famous in your episode?
Not that I can remember, no, but then I can't remember much anyway.
But then I get involved,
But I'm wondering, I'm sitting here in the corner wondering whether Idris Elba, as I like to call him, is sitting somewhere now in Hollywood, perhaps, I don't know, saying, do you remember that time we worked with Martin and Moore?
Yeah.
Or Tom and Dick?
Called Tom and Dick, aren't they?
do you remember that? Those two balding guys sitting in a corner eating their free breakfast.
Yeah. Those two has-beens.
Yeah. And what about Bill Knight?
He was in the queue behind me.
Was he?
Yeah. And we was queuing up for food, and I said, "Oh, after you, Mr. Knight." He said, "No, dear boy." He said, "You was here first." And I said, "No, we have to let you go because we're part of the, we're the extras and you're part of the main cast." He said, "Look," he said, "if anyone comes along here, I'll bloody well tell them that you were here first." But he didn't actually use the word bloody.
Oh, right, okay. You just use that to emphasise the conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was a stronger word. That's why I kept it cleaner for our podcast.
So you toned it down.
Yeah.
So when we upload it, we don't have to hit the over 18s button.
No.
Which is quite nice. We try and keep it clean.
I don't think we've ever had to do that yet.
No, not yet.
We had Shirley on and I thought she might hit the button, but she didn't.
So, episode 1, we're going to change things a little bit as we go forward.
Tell everyone what we're going to do.
I don't know yet.
You're the one who come up with the ideas with a new season, as you call it in America, or the new series, as we call it over here.
I don't really know what we're going to do yet, but we're going to do some sort of changes around and jazz it up a little bit. Because obviously, otherwise, it just becomes season 1 extended, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we've got to do something different.
We're going to do some more outside broadcasts, aren't we?
We are. Now we've got the hang of it.
Yeah.
We'll have a go, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But today's subject, we thought we'd start off with something a little bit sort of fantasy orientated, or some people might call it fantasy. Some people take this very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Don't they? And we're going to talk about the afterlife, ghosts, reincarnation, mediums, extra large, Ouija boards.
Medium.
And heaven and hell.
He's lost the plot here.
Well, I just slipped that one to see if you noticed.
Yeah, I did.
Pick it up.
It probably wasn't quite as good as my joke of the week, but...
And have we got one of those for this week?
We have got one of those, yeah.
Right, okay.
See if we can pleased to know, everybody, the new season will include the joke of the week.
Yeah, so nothing changed there then.
Well, we're keeping the highlights in.
We always do it at the end so people can switch off if they want at that point. So they haven't missed the main body of the podcast.
That's right.
But anyway, so this is an interesting subject we're about to delve into. A lot of people take this all very, very seriously. I find it difficult to take any of it seriously. So as we go into each subject, Martin, I'll ask you your opinion and whether you take it seriously. So let's start with...
And then you're going to give your opinion?
Of course I am, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sit here like a womble. The afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we've both had brushes with death, or close, near death experiences, do you believe that there's something after death?
I've thought long and hard at times.
We don't wish to know that.
Yeah, at times about this.
Yeah.
And I hoped there
because
was. I hope there is.
I mean, I've lost both my mum and dad, and you've lost your mum.
Mm-hmm.
So people cling on to things like that.
Yeah.
That hope there is something after death.
I might just add that I haven't lost my dad because I didn't know my dad. So I probably have lost him, but never knew him.
No.
So if people wonder why you say your parents and my mum.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I didn't want to touch on that
no, it's fine.
Delicate subject.
It's fine.
I mean, if I was your dad, I'd have handed you to somebody, I think.
And run.
run. But no, I mean, as you lost your mum and, people cling on to things like this, don't they? And they hope that there's something after death.
I've actually tried to communicate with my mum.
Have you?
Yeah.
How?
Well, I've been in a room, say for instance.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. No, I've been in a room, for instance, and sometimes I can smell fags. And my mum.
Sorry if I'm laughing, but
because you don't believe it. You see,
I should take this seriously.
But
go on.
Yeah. For me,
sometimes you can smell fags.
Yeah. Sometimes I get this aroma, and I think, God, that's fags. That's got to be my mum. And
where is this room?
I smelled it last night in my living room, right? And I said to Linny, I can smell fags. And sometimes she can smell it. So It's not just me.
Yeah.
So anyway, so not so much here, but in other places where I've lived, said, when I've not just when I've smelt this smell, but when I Because I don't think about this all the time, you see.
So this just appears out of nowhere then?
Yeah. I suddenly think, oh, I'm going to see if I can contact my mum.
Oh, so you go in with the initial thought, I'm going to contact my mum, and then you smell cigarettes, or you're sitting in a room watching TV, and all of a sudden you smell cigarettes.
Completely separate. Now and again, I'll be somewhere, it could be anywhere, and I can, not when I'm in a public place, but, you know, like, I don't know, other place, say my son's house.
Yeah.
You know, and then suddenly I go, oh, I can smell fags, you know, and I know he doesn't smoke. Anyway, here, like yesterday, I could smell it. So I would, wherever I would be, I would say to myself, or not to myself, I wouldn't actually shout it out loud in case someone thinks I'm a nutter or something.
Well, I'm beginning to think that.
Yeah, no, but you haven't heard me out yet.
No, I haven't, no.
And I'd sit there or stand there, and I'd just say, Mum, if you're here, say I'm in this kitchen where we're recording, you know,
Yep.
Mum, if you're in here, rattle a saucepan. You'd look if that bloody rattles now, I can tell you. You'd run a mile.
I'll be gone, mate, I tell you. Rattle a saucepan, all right.
Yeah. No, I would. I'd say,
I'm hanging in with you. Go on, carry on.
I'd say, or move a saucepan, or that apron there, just swing an apron string or something like that, you know, just to let me know that you're here. And it never, ever, it's not happened yet. Do I believe in an afterlife? Because I know if my mum could contact me, I'm pretty certain, because I would had a real close relationship to my mum. I know if she could get back to me, she would.
Okay.
That's fact.
Right. So you get the feeling that your mum's in a room and you'll sort of say, Mum, move a curtain.
Yeah.
Or tap a radiator, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Not turn a tap on, because I don't think all those kind of things are.
No.
But, you know, some things can move, you see, and that's what, and other people could move them, I suppose.
So you think your mum is up there watching over you?
I hope she is. Yeah, I hope she is, and I hope she's seen what I've achieved since she's left this earth. But
I'm sure she'd be proud. It just worries
Yeah.
me, really, because, I mean, if that is true, and there is this afterlife, and your mum is watching over you to make sure you're okay and just keeping an eye on how you progress, what about in the bedroom? I mean, you know,
I wouldn't let my mum in the bedroom.
no, I know, but you've got no control, have you? You know,
No.
in intimate moments and things, or when you're doing something you shouldn't. And, but,
I never did nothing I shouldn't.
She ain't just going to appear when you want her to appear, you know.
Well,
she?
that's true. Yeah, that is true. Thinking about it, I'd never thought about that one.
You know, so when you're halfway through flow or something, you know, or you're in the middle of an
What do
intimate...
you mean by flow?
Well, I'm just
I
thinking,
know what you mean.
Do you stop and say, Mum, if you're in here,
Move something.
get out.
Yeah.
Move something. That could be embarrassing, actually.
No, I don't think. Yeah, like you say, you cannot control where that person can be. So I just don't think there's a physical thing that from going into the other world, if there is another world,
Yeah.
and coming back. I don't think there's where we can see them, but I have actually witnessed for myself, and this is the truth. When I was married to my second wife,
Mm-hmm.
she was into a lot of spiritualism and all things like this. And I did a show down in, funny enough, down the south coast. And we went down there. They gave us a caravan to stay in.
Yeah.
And she went, I don't know where she went. She went to the shop. That's right. Went to the shop. And she came back and I said, do you know what? I said, it feels really eerie in this caravan.
Right.
And so anyway, she said, shall we see if, anyone's around? So I said, what, spiritual? She said, yeah. So we sat there both together and I swear I saw a tea towel. Don't laugh. I saw a tea towel move and swing like that.
Yeah.
There was no strings there.
No strings attached.
No.
Go on.
And I did. I saw this tea towel swing, and she reckons that, and she didn't know I was going to say this, so she hasn't preset something up.
Yeah.
And I swear, 100%, no, or could have done, or it did. this tea towel, whether a gust of wind come through or, that could have happened. But I wasn't knowing that there was anything to make that move.
Right.
And I swear it moved.
Right.
So how did that happen? Come on.
Were the doors open or windows open?
No, they weren't. No. And Brenda had been back, a little while when I told her about this. And as I said, I hadn't left the room.
How did you make contact with this person or what?
We didn't make contact with the person.
No, but she sat down. Would you like to, shall we see if there's anybody here?
Yes. Well, she sat down and done what they do. I'm not a spiritualist or a medium.
What do they do?
Well, they close their eyes. I know that.
Right.
But I don't know what they're saying but something came and definitely moved
the
tea towel.
Right. Yeah. You heard it first here.
Yeah.
So do you believe
Weavers is going nutty?
do you believe in ghosts then? Because obviously are spirits and ghosts the same thing? If your mum's watching over you, and is she a ghost? Do you believe in ghosts?
No. I've never witnessed one.
Well, supposedly I've seen a ghost. When I was younger, I used to.
Don't say Borley.
No, I wasn't a boy. No, we lived in a little old cottage, 200 or 300 years old it was. And me and my brother shared a bedroom, and my mum always used to bring a cup of tea in every morning before we went to school. So I had a cup of tea in bed from a very young age. Mm-hmm. And one morning, what I thought was my mum bringing a cup of tea in, this figure walked up to my bedside cabinet, stood there for a moment, and then walked away. I can see this vividly. And I said, "Thanks, Mum." And then I laid there like I normally do for another 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then I put the light on and sat up.
Mm-hmm.
Or sat up and put the light on.
Yeah.
And when I sat up, I thought, "Where's my tea?" There was no tea there. And I looked around. My brother was fast asleep.
Yeah.
And I looked at me watch, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So
You've been dreaming.
Well,
that's called a dream, Pat.
Okay. Well, it could be. I don't know. But that was as a vivid image. I mean, I've had hundreds of dreams in my life, vivid dreams as well. But this thing seemed absolutely real. It sets it apart from any other dream that I've had, and I always remember it. So I don't know. I don't know. Perhaps we get these things that are...
Who was the vision or the person you saw? Was that your mum?
I don't know. I assumed it was my mum. I was half asleep, but it was so vivid. I actually said, "Thanks, Mum," because I thought it was her.
I'd put that one down 100% to a dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reincarnation.
Sorry to disappoint,
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. I'm not disappointed because I still don't believe in ghosts.
No.
Even though I've supposedly seen one, or what I think was one.
Yeah, my mate's brother reckon he saw one, a carriage coming along a road, and he gave way to it.
Right.
And nothing ever come past.
Oh, right.
And that's when he was driving, he could see a carriage in front of him.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking he was probably born in 1950s, something like that. How many carriages were on the road then? You know what I mean? They'd gone by the I don't know what's.
Yeah, going back to your mum then. So your mum is with us somewhere.
Yeah.
Or with you.
I really, really hope she is.
And we'll invite her onto the podcast one.
Yeah.
If you're here, Mum, if you're here, move something.
No.
I was watching the tea towel there, but nothing happened.
Yeah, I was watching you can see the strings on that one there, but...
That's obviously not going to happen while we're recording a podcast. She might be shy. But that brings us on to mediums, because when people lose people,
mm-hmm.
They're quite vulnerable. A lot of people are, especially if it's someone really, really close. And this can happen with animals as well. Not that you can contact a medium about a dog, I don't think, but people turn to mediums, don't they, then? For some sort of signs, messages or reassurances. Yeah. We've seen that in show business, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
We've met mediums, and I've met a couple of extra large as well. But, they supposedly can contact somebody on the other side.
Yeah.
Do you believe in mediums?
I have been to one of those just after Mum died, funny enough, to see.
So were you going... Would you have gone if your mum hadn't have died? Or did you go because your mum died?
I went because my mum died.
So I've just proved a point then. So people do look for these signs or some sort of reassurances that mum has gone on to another better place.
the trouble is with these things, people give too much information.
Well, yeah,
when they talk to the bloke will say, I can feel the presence of, has anyone lost someone called John? And you think, well, how many, there's millions of Johns around. There's always going to be someone put, yeah, I have.
That wasn't the name of your mum, was it?
No, it was a middle name.
You had me worried there from the name at the weekend.
Yeah, no, they just gave him too much info. And I believe he fed onto that. Now you think you're a trained comedy hypnotist. Now what you know and what to say to people, and he will know what to say to people as well when they say something. He also feeds them, because he'll say something about, my mum went on the beach once, right? She told me this, and some gypsies came round and said, do you want us to read your, palms and all that?
Yeah.
And anyway, they said yes, and they said, you live near a lane. And they thought, yeah, we do. And then, anyway, they went away, and then they realised afterwards they got a bag on the side with their address on it, and it said something Lane on it. So it's obvious these people are, their eyes are here, there, and everywhere. And
we used to work with a guy called Ashley Dean. Do you remember him? He was a stage hypnotist.
Yeah.
And he was also a medium.
Yeah.
I thought he was a large.
You keep telling that joke. It's not funny, Pat.
Well, we got yours coming soon. But he was a medium as well. And he was telling us the stories about how he extracts this information.
Yeah.
And some of the real professional mediums have a lot of people in the foyers before the show.
Mm-hmm.
And these people chat to people, and they just sit and watch people and listen to conversations and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they report back to the medium and give them all this information so they can then go on stage and immediately have got a connection with people.
Because people would stand in there and they'd talk to someone and say, yeah, I'm here. I hope they can, find my Uncle Charlie.
Yeah.
And then they'll go back to tell him.
And you also find that a lot of people who go to these shows, that's not the first time. They've been several times.
Mm.
So they're saying things like, the last time I was here, they got to my Auntie Mary and they told me, she lived in a cottage and she had one leg. She had a bulldog and she was married to
the fellas
Harry.
Loved her.
And she had a bulldog and she learnt to drive when she was 17. And they're telling all this information. There's old mate, he's standing in the background,
Yeah.
You imagine, feed that to the medium. He comes out on stage.
I've never thought of that one before.
So that's part of it. I'm not saying that mediums are not real. I'm not saying they're not real. But there are some out there.
It's a stage show.
It's a stage show.
Yeah.
But it is a bit of a worry that they're playing on people's
emotions, yeah.
Picking up.
But it can make some of them happy.
Well, yeah, I think some people get relief from it and think, but the thing that I always think is, if there is something, you'll get somebody say, especially at a funeral, he's up there now, he's at peace, da-da-da-da. We'll see, we'll meet again, we'll see you another day. Now, if you do meet someone in heaven that you've lost, do they stay at that age? So if they died at 50, when you go to heaven at 90, are they still 50? Children that die, are they still children when you go back up there?
Yeah, does their spirit stop?
What do you see?
Yeah.
So, there's so many questions.
Well, some people talk about seeing a tunnel, don't they, and go down a tunnel.
Yeah.
And they,
they see a light at the end of the tunnel, don't they?
Yeah.
They're heading towards that tunnel.
Yeah.
I think this is supposedly during death, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you make it to the light, you've...
But heaven and all these, people up there, it's really crowded, isn't it? But when you think of our body on Earth and all the knowledge that we've got, does that just go when we go?
Well,
where does that,
But a genius, now there's an interesting fact. You get child genius who can play a piano at 4, can play, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that come from? Let's go to sport, for argument's sake. You get a footballer.
Practice probably, but...
Yeah, but...
they have got a skill.
Why does somebody have such a a brilliant skill and others don't.
Yeah, well, we're not born with. People never know what they're going to do they?
I'm talking about something like a genius. You get a genius who can do things that you think, well, how? How can somebody be so much better at something than somebody else? And something like on a racetrack, you'll get Lewis Hamilton, for argument's sake, who for years has been out front. Okay, you can say his car was faster than everybody else's, but you get so many other people, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, who tried to be like Lewis Hamilton but can't even get near.
No.
So how can that one person be that much better than everybody else? Interesting. Anyway, let's go on to heaven and hell then. If there's a heaven
and hell,
suppose there's got to be hell, isn't there?
Yeah. My wife always says she's booked for hell.
Well, if you're talking about religion, why is there so many wars, so much cruelty? It's like you getting your cancer. Why were you dealt that card?
Yeah, because I always thought I'd done good for people.
Yeah.
And then I've been dealt with that. Yeah, I don't know. Certainly don't know the answer to that one, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, people talk more about heaven than hell.
Stephen Fry has an interesting view about heaven and hell, and he's a complete atheist.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance to listen to Stephen Fry, that's a real good listen.
Okay.
It makes a lot of sense. He's talking about, famine, disease, and all these things.
You only ever think of him as a comedy actor, don't you? Or
and one of the things he says, if you look at religion as a whole, globally, there's approximately 200 gods listed in various religions. All right?
Yeah.
Now, he was asked the question, do we believe in God? And he said, no. And he said, well, why? He said, because if I believed in my God, that means the other 199 gods don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But if you speak to somebody in another religion, they'll say the same. So do you see where I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So you're an atheist for the other 199,
yeah,
but you only believe in your God.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's that's too complicated for me to consider.
It's really complicated, and one I've never thought. As I say, I've sometimes thought about heaven, but I've never thought about hell.
So you've tried to contact the dead.
Yeah.
In a caravan in Margate.
Yes. Actually, no, we didn't. We didn't try to contact the dead. We just said, "Is anybody there?" So we didn't know, or she didn't know who she was contacting.
Oh, so there could have been somebody in the cupboard, is what you're saying, or broke into the caravan.
Yeah, well, yeah, you never know. But I have tried to contact the dead. Yeah.
Oh, and that's
Mum.
That's where you're sitting in a room and say, "If you're here, move a teapot."
Yeah, because that's when I've tried to contact my mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop smoking in my house, Mum.
Yeah, there's no smoking.
But well, it's quite interesting, Martin, isn't it? A subject that.
Yeah, I mean, some people will sit and think about that. Some people will just brush past them, and no one ever thinks about it, do they?
We must go together to a show with a medium.
We'll record it live. Tom, who's Tom and Dick?
If we go to a show and try and investigate, the foyer and see if we can work out what's going on. That'd be quite interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Especially if he came up with a name and then he just said, "Could we do it for a laugh, do you think?" Do you think we could?
I don't think we could go there and laugh.
I don't think I can go there and be serious. That's the trouble.
Yeah, but
if he puts his hand up and says, somebody's coming through with the name Harry.
Well, I would be more aware in the foyer now.
Yeah,
definitely. Because I'd never even thought of that.
Well, what we could do is we could go into the foyer and we could really talk loudly.
Yeah.
I come to one of these last time and they contacted me Uncle Harry.
Yeah.
Who's got a dog with one leg.
Yeah.
And just see if we get picked out.
Put him off the scent.
What, a dog?
Yeah.
What do you call a dog with one leg? Nothing, because he ain't going to come.
Oh, God. Keep trying. You're not going to take over the joke of the week.
What we'll have to try and do. Here's a challenge for you, Martin. I want you to find a medium, and I don't mean a small or an extra large. I mean a medium.
That's the fourth time.
And see if we can get him on the show.
On the show?
On the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Get one on the podcast.
Yeah.
And we can fire all these questions at him.
Yeah.
And see what sort of answers we can get.
Because we can do a thing like we did with Cliff Thorburn, where we can just call him, can't we?
No, we've got to see him. He's got to be here.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so we'll travel to meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I think that would be a good one. Or her. We keep saying him, but there's a lot of female mediums, isn't there?
Yeah. And do you know what? Thinking of tasks, I set you a task.
Oh, no. Did you?
Yeah.
What was that?
And you've forgotten.
I have.
You was going to look up life insurance.
Oh, God, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I have.
Only because it came on the radio the other day.
Tell you what, we're playing top trumps now. Are we going to have some of this healthy ice cream you've made?
Oh, no, there was no time limit for it.
Well, there weren't for mine, was there?
Look back, I think, is next episode.
What a day. We're sitting here in July, and we should be having ice cream, healthy ice cream.
Yeah.
Handmade by you.
Actually, yeah, someone said I'd got to make it, didn't
That was
they?
an earlier podcast.
It was, yeah.
So I've got you back.
Yeah.
So I think we'll wrap this little bit up about ghosts, afterlife, reincarnation, mediums. Oh, I haven't touched on Ouija boards. Have you ever played with a Ouija board?
Yeah, with kids.
Yeah.
And I think that, kids mess around, don't they? And once again, that's a thing where one person can be stronger, than another person and move that board a little bit,
Right.
But as for the knocks, tap once if you're here and tap, someone's probably knocking under the table while the others are looking around the room.
We went to not a séance or a medium. It was a special evening at the local pub, and it was all about ghosts and spirits. I didn't know how to keep a straight face, and most of the time I didn't. But this lady and this man were as serious as you can be about this subject. And now we're talking about orbs. Have you?
Oh, yeah, I know what an orb, yeah.
Orbs. And they could see these orbs, and I was looking around, I couldn't see a blooming orb.
Mm.
And then they were talking about ghosts, and this was in an old country inn.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we're going to go up into the bridal suite because that's haunted.
Mm-hmm.
And we went up there, and we all sat in this dark room, about 20 of us. And this guy said, is there anybody here? Honestly.
Yeah.
And the name of this ghost, right, that was supposedly haunting this place was a guy called Mr. Bumble.
Right.
Now, once he said that, I was off. And this bedroom that we were in had an ensuite.
Mm-hmm.
And there just happened to be a clink in the ensuite. And he went, did everybody else hear that? And he turned to the ensuite and he said, is there anybody in the ensuite? And he kept asking these questions. And then all of a sudden he said, oh, I can see some orbs. Can anybody else see that? And everybody, he said, get your mobile phones out because that picks them up better.
Did you?
Yeah, I got my mobile phone out. All I got was my messages. And some of these people say, oh, I've got the orbs. I've got the orbs on my phone. And I thought,
yeah.
Oh, I ain't got no blooming orbs on my phone.
And had they? Did you see them?
Well, no, I didn't see them.
No.
These people were serious.
Was that not a person who is a plant to say, yeah, I've got some?
No, because 2 or 3 people in there said they got.
Oh, right.
I couldn't grasp anything from it. But these people were serious. So
one thing I've just picked up from that, if this was like a medieval ghost kind of person, they were trying to. If you said to a medieval ghost, are you in your ensuite?
I know.
They wouldn't know what a bloody ensuite is.
I know. And the other thing he says, he said, and this is proving your point exactly. He said, if there's anybody here, just tap on the radiator. And I thought, they wouldn't know what a radiator is.
No.
But this guy was so serious. I tell you, I was there with Wendy and my son Martin, and he had his mate Richard, and we were all standing there. Mm-hmm. And all the time this was going on, Martin was blowing on Wendy's hair. Stop it.
It's one you didn't get kicked out, you lot.
Well, it was a brilliant evening because we had so much fun. Yeah. Laughing at the expense of the others, unfortunately. Yeah. But, I couldn't get nothing from it, and I still can't.
Especially when he's taking it so serious.
I struggle with it all, really. All of this.
So let's go through it again with your answers then, because you got all my answers, didn't you?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to contact the...
No, never. No. I have said at my mum or my dad's funeral, rest in peace, I'll see you again. Yeah. But I think that's something you say at funerals and things when you lose somebody close.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. What were the other questions?
I've told you about my ghost experience. Yeah. Afterlife, no. Reincarnation, I can't believe that, I don't think. No. Mediums, trouble is I'm too well connected to that area that I can't believe it. Yeah, I can't believe it. But my wife has been to a medium, and I told her before she went, do not give any information away. And she came back and reckoned she was contacted by her grandfather, Harry, his name.
Yeah.
And she swears blind that she never gave any information, and he told her a lot of things that she didn't know. Or she knew that he couldn't have known.
Really? Yeah.
But I did tell her before she went, don't give anything away.
Lucky guesses sometimes, don't they?
Possibly, yeah. But she believes in it, I think, to a certain extent. And she always reckoned her granddad was spiritual.
Oh, right,
So,
perhaps there's something in that.
Ouija boards, never had any experience of them. Don't really care about them. They're meant to be dangerous, so some people say, but only if they fall off the shelf on your head, I think.
Yeah, a wives' tale.
And heaven or hell? Well, maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but I'm not sure whether I'll be going to heaven or hell. I don't know about you.
I don't think you go to hell, Pat.
Anyway, let's have a little bit of joy with your joke of the week, shall we?
Right.
To round things off.
To start the season.
Come with a good one.
Okay, right. I walked past a shop the other day and saw a sign that said, man wanted for robbery. So I went in and applied for the job.
Well,
short and sharp this time.
Well, guys, this is the end of episode 1, series 2. I hope you enjoyed it.
Look out for different things that we might be doing this series as well.
Tell us if you've had an experience with a ghost.
Yeah.
Or a tea towel moving.
Yes, please.
We want to hear from you.
You can join my club.
Yeah. We're not poo-pooing any of this.
No.
Just our gentle, enjoyable look at the subjects.
And everybody's got their own,
opinions.
Opinions, that's the word I was looking for.
Hope you've enjoyed this week. And we'll be back next week with a very special guest.
We certainly will. He comes from Liverpool. He's probably the second most person who's appeared at the London Palladium, and he's still going strong in show business at 85, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's Mr. Jimmy Tarbuck.
And he recently supported Barry Manilow on his tour.
Yeah.
So held in high esteem, Mr. Jimmy Tarbuck. Stay safe.
Yeah, as always.
Have a great weekend.
And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Who's Tom and Dick podcast with your hosts, Martin Weavers and Patrick Mortimer. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite streaming platform. New episodes are available every Friday. Thanks for tuning in.